and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy episode 275 for the week of August 30th, 2016. This is a part 3 in a 16-part series about the Suicide Squad. This week we're going to be talking about the Silver Age stories of Captain Boomerang. Glad you guys are all here. I'm totally joking,
No, he's
by
not.
the way.
No, he's not.
I think everyone could tell.
I'm totally not joking, by the way. We're going to talk about Suicide Squad this whole episode. No, we're not. We're done talking. Bryce, put down the phone. Stop texting me. We're not going to talk about Suicide Squad this week.
You should say, Bryce, put down the phone. You don't need to text me.
You don't. That's what I just said.
No, you said you don't. You just need to stop texting.
Stop texting.
He had already done it.
He is, of course. We know Bryce is already in fit rage. My name is Ryan Higgins. Who's here with me this week?
Brock Sager.
Toby.
Small cast this week. It's all good. Charlie had some last-minute stuff. Keep him away. Bryce should be back a week or two, I think. So, before we get into our main topic this week, we got a few things to discuss. One of them, literally breaking news, 20 minutes before the podcast started recording.
Yeah, I believe you said, holy shit, or something to that.
No, I said Larry-David.gif. Marvel developing New Warriors TV show featuring Squirrel Girl. This comes from, I believe, TVLine.com.
So why can't it just be Squirrel Girl TV show? Why does it have to affect the New Warriors?
I don't know.
They have nothing to do with each other. As far as I know, you could correct me on that one.
Well, technically they do. Let me read this top here. It's from TVLine.com. It says, Marvel and ABC Studios are developing a New Warriors comedy series that would put the spotlight on the little-known comic book character heroine Squirrel Girl. TVLine has learned exclusively. Both Marvel and ABC Studios declined to comment, but sources confirmed that the half-hour project is currently being shopped around to cable and streaming outlets. Now, the connection Squirrel Girl and New Warriors is, of course, during the Dan Slott Squirrel Girl and Great Lake Avengers one-shots from the early 2000s.
This is getting worse and
From the
worse.
early 2000s, Squirrel Girl dated Speedball.
Oh, my
Much.
God. Now, if Squirrel Girl is going to be played by John Barrowman, now we have a show. That I'll watch.
That'll watch
in an instant.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'd watch it. I'd watch that.
But yeah, no, this is... I mean, obviously a Squirrel Girl series would be funny.
Wouldn't it be better if it was Great Lake Avengers? Because then they could film for cheap in Michigan.
Well, she's actually been part of the Great Lake Avengers. Her relation to the New Warriors is pretty minimal, but...
she just dated the guy with balls.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know where they go. I mean, it would be obviously a comedy series. You can have stuff with Speedball, but there's not really a lot of comedy in the New Warriors unless they're going...
who's going to be in it?
Who's that?
Slapstick.
Sure. I mean, unless they're going with the pre-Civil War stuff, that fake reality show horrible series.
Oh, God.
And this new arc, that was okay, but they tried to play up the comedy a little bit. But the New Warriors is not really a funny comic book. I mean, Speedball is, but he's light. He's the lighter tone of a semi-serious comic. I mean, New Warriors was never really played for laughs.
Well, I mean, if they wanted to, they could just make it dark and have penance.
But but that wouldn't make any sense for a Squirrel Girl TV show. So I have to assume this is going to be, I think, just a show called Squirrel Girl might...
Featuring the New Warriors.
Well, right, a show called Squirrel Girl might not click. That might be a hard sell. But a show called The New Warriors, people would be like, okay, that's just disconnected from the comic. That name is maybe a little easier to pitch.
Taint it. It's going to taint it. That means we'll never get our New Warriors Netflix show. They'll never appear in the Marvel Universe movies. This is just going to drag them down to the barrows, man.
I don't disagree. I'm okay with a Squirrel Girl series.
Yes, absolutely.
It's something totally funny.
Especially with John Barrowman.
Oh, jeez.
Especially with John Barrowman.
With that Hulu...
I think that Marvel has potential with Squirrel Girl, especially with the target audience that it can hit, especially for a half-hour show. It's more of a comedy. It's a perfect setup with just Squirrel Girl.
Well, they have that Runaways series that's going to Hulu. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you remember I believe it was last year, they announced, there's been no word on it yet, but a Cloak and Dagger series for Freeform, which is the ABC Family channel. Oh. So, I mean, this could fit somewhere in line with that if it's kind of a teen comedy thing. But I know we're going to get horrible, stupid Kid Nova We're going to get a bunch of those garbage characters.
You're going to get the champions?
Basically, right? We're going to get all those
Miss
garbage
Marvel?
characters from the later stuff. No, they wouldn't waste Miss Marvel on something like this.
Oh, so they're not taking this serious, then, is what you're saying.
I mean, if it's a comedy, they wouldn't put... I mean, Miss Marvel, I think eventually they'll try to put her in the spotlight. They wouldn't make her... They wouldn't have Miss Marvel play second fiddle to Squirrel Girl.
New Warriors should just be Netflix. Just let it be Netflix.
Well, they could totally introduce them as part of the Runaway series. They're a very similar team, teenage heroes.
Yes.
You know, they obviously have issues with the, not parents in the New Warriors case, but parental figures.
Yes.
I think it'd be a legitimate, cool CW-style Marvel show, but, you know, that age range. But, I mean, I don't know. We'll see where they go with it. You know, seeing people on the big screen, or even on the little screen, would be cool, but not if it's played up just for laughs, which I feel is kind of the... I think people make the mistake.
Cat.
Niles? We might. But, I mean, I think people misunderstand those characters. It was never a comedy series. So...
I don't know, maybe this will launch all the Lockjaw and the...
I actually do want a New Warriors show, just not like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't mind Squirrel Girl coming along, just not like this.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
They can always prove me wrong.
Yeah. No, I'm willing to.
So is it going to be Kimmy Schmidt's going to be Squirrel Girl?
That's right. See
Anna Kendrick being Squirrel Girl?
Is she the one that they've all been talking about recently?
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah,
she could. I think she could do it too. Either one of those two.
Yeah, there was someone recently that they've a lot of people kind of threw their weight behind.
Yeah, I'm totally cool with either of those two.
Kimmy Schmidt. I mean,
or someone else.
Sex actress, his name. I'm blanking on it. I mean, she might be a little too old. I mean, Squirrel Girl's a teenager. So
Anna Kendrick be out also.
Yeah, well, that's right. It's hard to.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still make the character however old you want. So
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. It might never happen. It probably will never happen. Let's be honest. So.
Well, there was a Runaways TV show a long time ago, and then there was a movie. Then it disappeared,
yeah.
And now it's back.
Where's that Why the Last Man TV show?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Or the 100 Bullets
or 100 Bullets. Yeah. Or Sandman.
Yeah. Well, at least 100 Bullets got the Tom Hardy name attached to it for now.
It was years ago.
Like not too many years. But
yeah.
At this point, it might have been going away already.
I think on one of our very first episodes we recorded, we were talking about the Scalped TV show.
I think so.
Yeah, it's just like, that never happened.
Yeah.
Like
well, there's a lot of things that happen before a TV show starts filming.
Well, this Powerless, the DC one, it's out in January.
Really?
Yeah, that thing got fucking fast-tracked. And it's like, boop, premieres, it's mid-season replacement.
Like that's one of their comedy ones, right?
Yeah, that's DC's comedy series.
So is this like the answer to Powerless?
Well, no. So Marvel for a while had Damage Control.
Yeah. That didn't go anywhere either, right?
Right. Powerless is kind of that's what it's called, right? Powerless? Am I crazy? Yeah. That's like sort of...
I'm pretty sure, at least.
Let me double check. That's like their answer to Damage Control.
It's got some of the Josh Whedon alums in that show, right? At least one of them. Yeah.
It's Powerless. Yeah, the thing is,
this is a Damage Control replacement?
No, so Damage Control in the Marvel Universe are the guys that clean up after...
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, after the event.
So DC never really had something like this, but they have this comedy series that is going to launch as like a mid-season replacement. That's they're like the insurance adjusters for the DC universe. So they go out to all these these big battle scenes and what's her name? Silver Fox? Is she... or no, Crimson Fox, I believe, is supposed to be like the main character. Like her...
Okay.
Yeah, her like... I don't know if she's like the main character or if she's just like in the show. I don't remember what the deal with Crimson Fox is.
Where like they're going to bring Sugar and Spike in?
They could. The new versions. That'd be awesome. But yeah, it's Alan Tudyk, Danny Putty, and a few other people.
I'm hoping for a Netflix She-Hulk series.
That'd be cool. Oh,
yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, fit right
awesome.
in.
Yeah.
Her versus Murdoch?
Yeah.
For finale?
She should just be in it.
Yeah.
But I wonder if there's weird Hulk stuff. I wonder if she gets caught up in that Hulk Universal deal.
No.
I don't know.
Damn right.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll see. This will probably never happen, but we'll see what happens. We meaning
so as a
Toby.
Squirrel Girl fan, are you happy about this? Are you excited? Are you like...
It depends what they do with it, right?
Yeah,
because like I said, The New Warriors is not necessarily a comedy show.
Yeah.
And Squirrel Girl is, but I mean, if it's just played for laughs, it depends how they do it.
Yeah.
Like, remember when the Teen Titans cartoon came out, the first one?
Yeah.
Not Go, but the original Teen Titans. Like, the first couple episodes, like, kind of like half the first season, you're like, oh, this is like
That's
weird kiddie stuff.
That's you.
But it got real good real fast.
That too.
And it's very serious in some of those episodes.
Mm-hmm.
If they kind of pitch it as a comedy, but it becomes just a fun adventure superhero show, sure, fine. But if it's laughing at these characters and their misadventures, I don't like that. Plus, I mean, on a TV show, you're gonna have a TV budget, and a lot of those classic characters, Speedball, Nova, Firestar, I don't know how well they'd work on a TV budget, especially if you have a big cast.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why you should just get rid of them and just have Night Thrasher and,
Silhouette.
Silhouette and Rage and
all the no powers.
Yeah, and then we got a real show. Add a Namorita and you're good to go. She's the only powered one.
Yeah.
It's a little blonde girl.
Well, like Speedball.
Now that's interesting.
Well, Speedball, Justice, Firestar, Nova, they have like bigger effect powers, right?
Phenomenal cosmic powers.
Well, yeah,
Firestar could still work.
Sure,
you can do
but
minimal. You don't have to.
But it's like the Firestorm problem in Legend of Tomorrow, right? They shoot their budget every time they have him actually flame on. Right?
Well,
Every time his
I
head
think the
explodes.
TV Firestar should just not be able to fly.
Well, but that's the thing. So with Rage, Night Thrasher, Silhouette,
Yeah, will all work easily.
and
Let's do it.
Namorita to a degree, she doesn't have any she's just strong and can fly. She doesn't have exterior effect powers.
Doesn't she have wings on her ankles?
Yeah, but
That's fine. You
That's
cover those up.
Yeah. She always had them covered up anyway, except when she was in costume. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
See, my New Warriors would work a lot better. We should just get rid of your New Warriors.
Boo.
So you guys did something this weekend.
We did. Toby, me and you went to Heroes and Villains Con, the second annual Heroes and Villains Con here in San Jose.
Yeah.
Not just as guests, but again as employees of guests.
Yeah.
So, or not just as consumers, I guess. Like we were working that con.
Yeah.
I went and helped my wonderful wife Leanne and her table there selling her art. And you were with Lord Mesa once again, who got on our podcast last year, right after the con.
Yeah. It's not a year ago, I realized. Last year was
like
November.
Yeah,
so it's a little sooner.
Oh, yeah, they moved it a little early.
Yeah.
And since the first one here in San Jose, God, there's been
a few.
8 of them, 7 of them.
There's been a few. Yeah.
They're going crazy with these things.
Mm-hmm. Although I think none of them had the guests that they had at this one. And the guest list was huge on this one, this year. Yeah,
let me actually, while we're pulling it up here. So when they had the first one, we weren't sure exactly, you're not exactly sure how this is going to go because, do they not have the San Jose one up anymore? What? You never know how these things are going to go, right? Because it's the first time they're doing it, and like a lot.
Was it the first one in San Jose last year?
Yeah,
they launched it with
that was the first one. Yep.
Ah.
So for a lot of these cons, they're
especially the new ones, you never know.
Yeah,
they could go away or. Never hear from them again.
Right.
I'm a little worried about the San Francisco Comic Con that's happening this weekend.
Oh,
I'm so not sure about this one.
Yeah,
I don't even think Silicon is coming back. Did they announce it's coming back?
The Silicon Comic Con?
Yeah, the Silicon Valley Comic Con.
I'm assuming so.
Yeah.
This is awful. Talk about it for a second because they've apparently taken down the San Jose page, so I can't actually pull up the guest list.
Oh, I can remember most of them.
Yeah, I can remember a lot of them, but just talk about your experience for a second while I'm pulling up this guest list because I want to talk about some of the guests.
Okay. No, I mean it was a lot of fun. I thought I was actually less people this year, but after it was all said and done, most people said there was actually more. But I think it was just more spread out since there were so many celebrity guests there. They took the photo op thing away. They moved it to another room, so it kind of felt more open.
Okay, I got that list up.
Yeah.
I was actually trying to think of this room feels much bigger.
Yeah.
What did they do? And that was it. They moved all the photo op stuff out.
Yeah, which was I don't know if it was weird or not because I don't know.
The photo op stuff took up about a third of the room.
Yeah.
And it was about half the people at the con were at the photo op.
Yeah, and so it felt full, right?
So it felt that there was less people here, but it was because we were split between two giant rooms. So I think you're right. I think there actually were more people at this one.
It just didn't feel like it. Yeah.
Guest list here. Let me go over this. So last year we had there was a good amount of people.
It was a good amount. Yeah, I mean they kicked off really well.
And this year it was basically the same people minus one or two, plus like 15 more people.
Yeah,
we have Stephen Amell, who's Oliver Queen, obviously Arrow on Green Arrow. Greg Clark and Chloe Bennett, Agent Coulson and Sky. Daisy Johnson on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., John Barrowman, who you probably remember as Jack Harkness from Torchwood or Merlin on Arrow, Matt Ryan, Constantine, Candace Patton, who's Iris West on The Flash, Rick Cosnett as Eddie Thawne on Flash, David Ramsey, who was John Diggle. I'm just going to go over, I mean,
just list them down.
The sub: Tommy Merlin, Laura Lance, Thea Queen, Detective Lance, Felicity Smoke's mom, Damien Dark, although he couldn't make it. The guy that plays Curtis Holt. This is Echo Kellum. He's the not
Mr. Terrific,
maybe Mr. Terrific.
Yeah.
Nissa, Katrina Law, Nissa Al Ghul. She was there. This was her first time. This is Amy Gummernick, who plays Cupid. Robbie Amell was Flash. Teddy Sears, Jay Garrick.
No, Robbie Amell is Firestorm.
Or Firestorm, as I say Flash, sorry.
Yeah.
Firestorm on
Flash.
The Flash.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time had like 8 different people. Sean McGuire, Emily DeRevin, who's Claire on Lost.
Yeah.
Kristen Bauer, Victoria Smurf.
Why was Milo there?
They had like 3 people from Heroes there as well.
Yeah.
Corman Glasses.
Oh, that's why he was there? Milo's there for Heroes?
Yeah. Probably there. I mean, someone.
So my buddy that plays basketball with me, the guy that actually saw me rip my Achilles, was the volunteer for the Glasses guy.
Oh, really?
Heroes. Yeah.
HRG? Yeah. The guy that plays Peter Pan was there. Katie Lotz, who's White Canary. Ciara Renee, who's Hawkgirl. The big one, I think, that they got was they got Brandon Routh, who's Ray Palmer, or Superman, as a lot of people know from Superman Returns, which actually a lot of people there had Superman Returns stuff for him, more than I expected. Michael Rooker from Walking Dead and Guardians of the Galaxy, Chandler Riggs, who's Carl, Brian T., who's Shredder in the new Turtles.
Drift King.
Milo, Ventimiglia, I can never pronounce him, from Heroes. Jack Coleman from Heroes. And there was... Karen Gillan was supposed to be there but couldn't make it last minute. And I didn't even name like 10 other people. Like the guest list tripled at this
huge.
con. It was
huge.
Insane. So, Toby, I know you copied a really great idea from a very smart, handsome fellow.
Yeah. I mean, the handsome fella is, a smart dude. Yeah.
And you decided to join me in your quest to get your
the posters. The poster project. Yeah. I was very. I mean, when you started your project, I'm like, that's a brilliant idea right off the get go.
Well, because they were all there.
Yeah. And then when I actually saw you doing the project, I was like, fuck. You know what? This is really, really cool. But last year I wasn't prepared for it, and last year I was really in the zone working, the booth for Lord, and I got to be part of the behind the scenes thing a little more last year. So I was really kind of just like enjoying that aspect of the show, and it was just that part is good enough for me. I didn't need any,
This year, it feels like the behind-the-scenes stuff was a little
toned down. I mean, the first one they really went out. I mean, like I said, they had like Nerf gun fights and stuff like that. Well, and I think things got a little out of control, maybe.
Well, I know people were flying in. Like Brandon Routh was up till 3 a.m.
Yeah,
flew directly in,
slept 2 hours,
came directly to the con, came directly to a panel. Like, I mean, I think these people, especially on Saturday, were maybe not as prepped as they were the first year.
Yeah.
Plus, you had
but they came and they show. I mean, a lot of people don't realize these celebrities show up and they're nice and they're smiling. That's not easy to do when you slept
dying inside.
Yeah, you slept for 2 hours. You just flew in. You just worked the 18-hour day on set. That's not easy. That's not easy to do. So, but they're there for the fans. So I think it's awesome.
God, I moved a couple boxes of comics in the store, and I'm beat for like a day. Like, fuck it.
Yeah. No, where were we going with this?
Well, so you're starting to do the poster.
I started. I copied your excellently of the poster project. So I really wanted to get the same Arrow poster that you had last year, which is like him kind of more in the shadows, walking out.
I think that was only a promo poster, folded.
I really tried to find that one. It was so hard to find it. So
Yeah.
I ended up settling on the season 4, kind of just big. Green Arrow that had a lot of the whole body on there, so a lot of people just signed over it.
Yeah.
But the Flash one, I did find the Flash poster I really wanted, which is the season 1 poster where he just runs through the city.
Yeah, and you got these unfolded too, because mine promos to the shop.
I mean, you got a really good girlfriend that could get those creases out. I don't have that luxury. So
Does my wife know? Or
huh? Oh, your wife now. And not everybody has that luxury. So I had to get the unfolded ones. Plus, I'm fairly anal about.
What? I mean,
foldings.
It'll obviously look better. The thing is, I'm going to have to dry mount these, and that'll get a lot of the crease out, but it's not going to be perfect. But I'm not.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you take posters around, actually, to fold it is maybe even easier to get around because I'm like, oh, motherfucker, don't hit me.
Well, I'm
bring in poster tubes. I have to roll it. And you never know how they're going to take care of the poster. They're going to okay.
They don't care.
They don't care. So you never know. You really don't know.
Well,
right?
pulling it out of this bag for now 2 weekends, last year and this year, plus putting it up and taking it down, one or two of those points on the top where it's bent, right? Where it's got the fold, starting to kind of come apart a little bit.
No.
So I'm like, I have to get this dry mounted, or else it's going to just
you might have two pieces.
That's going to be destroyed.
You might have two pieces, but no, I started mine kind of systematically. I wanted to get some of the ones I thought might not come back. Like I'm not sure if Constantine is going to be how much more he's going to be involved. And we even talked to him about it. We don't know. He wants to be. But, him wanting to be and reality may be two different things. Right. So I try to get Matt Ryan, some of the characters that may not show up, like Eddie Fawn. I really wanted to get him, Candice Patton, till now, I didn't think she was doing a lot of these, but she just announced Kamikaze.
Yeah.
But anyways, I started the poster projects. I don't have a lot of the main guys on there yet, but there's going to be
John Barrowman will always be there. Stephen Amell will
always going to be there. So I figure I'll do this is a long-term project. This is going to be an ongoing thing for a while, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, I have to say.
Well, I love talking to these celebrities because, like I said, this isn't Comic-Con where there's 150 million people around them.
Matt Ryan talked to us for a good while. Yeah. It was Teddy Sears talked to us for, I think on him we went separately because you already had him covered. So, I got to talk to Teddy for a good while. Katrina kind of had a little bit of line, but she was a lot of fun. She had a lot of energy. That's how she always is.
She was very nice to everyone. She shook her hands, introduced herself to them and asked their name. And, and that line never stopped on Sunday, and she was all smiles the entire time.
Yeah.
Brandon Routh had short of Stephen Amell. Short of Stephen Amell and Greg Clark, he had the longest line.
And he probably had the least amount of sleep, probably.
And he was very gracious, but he looked like he was dead.
Yeah, but he was cool, man. On Sunday, he even went shopping. Oh, yeah. It was really funny. I kind of looked across. I'm like, why are everybody gathering up? I'm like, oh shit, Superman's shopping for T-shirts.
I think Sunday probably he had a little bit of sleep. So.
Yeah. So that was really cool. But since we're on Brandon Routh, I got a story to share.
Yep.
So we're working at Lord's booth, and Lord usually drops off artwork for all these celebrity guests that that show up. Since he's one of these celebrity artist guests, so he dropped off some art and met him, and later on Sunday, a gentleman came by the booth and he goes, "Oh, Brandon Routh likes to speak to you." And he was like, okay.
So Lord, right?
Yeah, to Lord. Yeah, obviously not to me. But I'm a worker bee. So anyways, he goes, all right, sure. So he kind of looked at me and goes, hey, come along because, you may have to take a picture for me or something. And I didn't realize at that point he already met him. I thought I was literally there to take a picture for them, right? So I tagged along. And we got there, and there's security and everything, and they're like, "Oh, hold on."
Is this behind backstage?
Backstage, but kind of way on front. And they held the line of the people that are signing, and then they let us come front, and Brandon was like, "Oh, Lord, I just wanted to repay the favor." he was like, anything you want. And he goes, only if you want to, not that I'm forcing this on you. He goes, I just want to, offer you anything or multiples, whatever, it's just like as a thank you for you. I was like, that was just really, really nice of him to do, right? So, and then, he signed the Superman picture and he wrote a really, really nice note, like a really nice long note on it. I was like, that's fantastic. Now, the kicker isn't there. The kicker was when he handed it to Lord, he looked at me and he goes, do you want one too? And I was like, I did not expect that. I mean, I was literally there just, just to take a picture for Lord and ask support. And he looked at me and you want, choose whatever you want. I'm like, wait, that's like, it caught me so off guard. I was like flabbergasted by it. I'm like, sure. And then he even remembered what we talked about earlier that day. I was like, what?
That's cool.
Yeah. So it was just really super nice guy. I mean, he didn't have to do that. I didn't expect it. I wasn't there for that. Right. I was
because Toby came with me because your leg is still not 100%. So you kind of sat off to the side of Lord's booth. And when I was much closer to Brennan Routh, I
We talked to him, about the podcast and and
doing the store,
the store stuff. So he actually wrote the mind and thanks for promoting the show so much and stuff.
That's
I'm
cool.
like, wow,
that's awesome.
That's just really, really cool. So it just really took me by surprise, and I was like, that's a really, really cool experience.
Yeah, for them it's. Obviously, they don't have to, and they don't. In a lot of cases, aren't going to. But for them, in a situation like that, it's like, oh, what is it? Takes 2 seconds to autograph and give it to someone, right?
I wasn't there for that. I didn't expect it.
Sure.
It was just like a really, really cool experience, and
that's awesome.
Thanks to Brandon. I mean, that was amazing.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the rest of the con, I felt like they had a few more vendors there, a few more dealers. It felt like they fleshed that out
a little bit. Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah, Leanne. I mean, this is the best con she's done so far. So
excellent.
Sold a lot of prints.
Yeah,
got a few commissions.
I'm just bummed you didn't get Matt Ryan to sign the Constantine one.
Actually, it's funny. On Sunday morning, one of the people there knew Matt Ryan and knew they knew him because they knew his dad or something weird like that, and they had followed Matt Ryan on all these other shows. She was like, I'm not necessarily a Constantine fan. I liked him in his other work as well.
Is it not that lady that wore the Constantine t-shirt, had the Constantine bag, had the Constantine everything?
Maybe.
Oh, dude, she had the purse was a Constantine purse, everything Constantine.
She had a Constantine shirt. I know that.
Yeah, and she had short hair.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
but she was talking to Leanne, and she was like, "Oh, I'm going back over there. I can give him one of the pictures if you want. One of Leanne's pieces of art that she did of his take on Constantine." So we're like, "Yeah, sure." So we gave her one, and hopefully she gave it to him.
She maybe just conned Leanne out of one.
She'd actually bought a few things from Leanne.
Actually, the fans at these shows are really, really cool. Yep. They're very, they help each other. They're all in there for the same things. It's a very, very different show. It's different than Comic-Con. It's different than any of these other cons.
There's no one's running. No one was loud. No one was annoying.
Yeah, no, it's just one big happy family. It's very different. And it's majority women too.
I was going to actually say that.
It's there's no stupid con exclusives.
Damn, I need to go next year.
Yeah, if you, I think if you go back 20 years, cons are 95% men, right? If you go to Comic-Con, it's probably 60-40. I mean, you have a lot of families, you have a lot of women that are in the comics, and then all the nerd stuff. Don't get me wrong. But these two heroes and villains, if last year was 60-40 women, this year was like 70-30 women. It was mostly women at this, and some of it's probably going to be because of the shows that they have on, right? Things like Arrow and Once Upon a Time.
There's a lot of muscles going around.
Well, it's a huge female audience, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely a huge female audience.
Yeah.
So, but they were, these weren't fake fans. I mean, these were all very hardcore fans.
Hardcore fans.
Yeah. So
if you spend just a little bit of time there, they're hardcore fans.
Yeah.
They're not there to celebrity hunt. They love these shows.
No, but we also I talked to so many people that said this was their very first convention.
Oh, really?
Yeah, including I believe it was his first. Leanne's nephew, I believe, was her sister brought her nephew, and I believe this is the first convention he ever went to, and he loved it. Right?
Oh yeah.
He's 9-10 years old or something. So he's a kid. But we had a lot of people. I noticed at least 2 or 3 times at the booth. I heard people over talking like, "Oh, this is my first convention. It's really cool." And I think it's Heroes and Villains is so neat. So if there's one near you, go to it because it's so much unlike any other Comic-Con.
It is really different. Yeah.
This San Francisco one, there's like 2 or 3 random celebrities from various things, and they're just kind of there.
Yeah.
But this is so like themed so well and focused so well.
Yeah.
It continues to be my favorite convention that I go to.
Yeah.
And it's not 30,000, 40,000 people.
Yeah.
Right? It's so small. I mean, you really can get up close and personal with all these people, and I hope it's profitable for them because I really hope they keep bringing them back.
Yeah,
but we're not New York. We're not London. We're not we're not San Francisco. I hope they keep it in San Jose.
I think that helps. Actually, I think that helps that it's a smaller market that, maybe it's not overloaded.
Well, I mean, when you come to the Bay Area, most people think San Francisco, but there's so many other cities that can host these things.
Most people live in San Jose.
San Jose, Oakland, there's a lot of cities that can host.
There's a lot of people that flew in.
Yeah,
like not my booth, Lord's booth. I mean, there's a couple of people from the UK that came. It surprised me they flew in specifically for this. They said they made a holiday out of it, of course, But I was like, wait, you guys actually flew in for this? They go, yeah.
Stephen Amell was talking about a couple flying in from Texas, I think he said.
Okay.
That was the first time they ever flown, and they flew for this.
Oh wow, wow, yeah. And I know a couple of really hardcore fans. At this point, I will call them friends, because I got to meet them multiple times now, and they're really cool. But they actually go to every Heroes and Villains, or it seems like it. Yeah. So I was like, wow. I mean, that's commitment there.
Yeah, because they have them, I got the list here: Orlando, Atlanta, Chicago, London, Portland, Nashville, New York.
And London.
And San Francisco, yeah.
Yeah, London's coming up.
You going there?
Trying to push Lord to do it, man. I really want to do the London thing, man. Nice. I want to visit that city, and I want to do Secret Cinema. I want to do the Doctor Who experience in Wales, and, just overall hit a couple of pubs and,
nice.
Kick
it. Yeah. I'm screwed if they start bringing in Supergirl or more Legends people next year.
Yeah,
this poster's never going to end, right?
Dude, I think they're going to just keep growing. I mean, they brought in people like, Echo and Cupid, and they were a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Echo actually swung by the booth and talked to Lord and me for a long time.
That dude's awesome.
He is super awesome. He's a big video game guy.
Oh, is he really?
Huge video game guy.
I should have talked to him more.
Oh, dude, he's awesome. He's super, super cool.
Yeah, he was super funny at his booth.
Yeah, I mean, they're all really, it's just a really positive vibe at this con. Not like Comic-Con where there's a lot of people that are in there for themselves. These are just fans, and celebrities are willing to be there. Colin who plays Tommy Merlin, he came by the booth to talk to Lord briefly, and Lord never drew him. He actually felt really bad. He goes, I wish I drew you. He said, no, that's totally cool.
Well, but he didn't start first season, right?
Yeah, Lord started in second season. Okay. So that's when Tommy Merlin's already gone. Yeah. So no, it was. I really enjoyed the con. Everybody's super cool, and then we went to the Mind Mixer.
Yep. Went to
which
the
was
party.
Fun. This time we John Barrowman sang this time. Last year he either we went too late or he just didn't sing last year at the San Jose one. He sang at the other ones.
This was a bit bigger. The first one in San Jose was kind of a pretty small private event. This was much bigger, and he felt like, I guess this is what they've been doing at all the rest of the con. So we we're very lucky that we actually got to go to the super personal one.
That first one was dope as hell. Our conversation with Neil McDonough.
Yeah.
How Neil jumped in with the band and started playing the harmonica, and I got the video up now on not the Common Conspiracy channel, but on my channel, if anybody wants to watch it. But yeah, man, that was just fantastic. John Barrowman just running buck wild on that one, screaming.
Well, this, when you have half the cast when half the guests are either asleep or sick, like John Barrowman was really sick.
Yeah,
he still came out.
He sang. He sang. Yeah,
it's really hard.
His sister was there. They were on stage dancing, and then later, you guys left at that point, but later for the finale, it was Colin, who plays Tommy Merlin, and Stephen Amell were singing with Brother Sal on stage, and everybody got into it. It was a pretty cool ending.
So Stephen Amell does a lot of the Facebook Live stuff, and we got home, we unpacked everything.
Yeah.
Got home, so the con ended at 5. By the time I got home and unpacked and actually sat down, it was probably 7.
Yeah.
There was a picture of Stephen Amell on the San Jose airport, private area with a private jet at 5:30. And at 7 o'clock, he's live streaming on Facebook. They're somewhere just drinking and singing. And I'm like... I'm sitting here I'm dying. I'm going to fall dead on the floor.
It's because they eat that healthy that they can do this.
I don't know.
Your bag of Doritos does not help.
I don't know, man.
Got to do it.
Yeah.
He's got to do
just
it.
Never stop.
That's just their schedule, man, until the season's over.
You're going to start your practice tonight, staying up till 3 to get those.
Wow.
I was really dead on Sunday, though.
Yeah.
I met a couple new friends, and then we went out after the after party.
The after party?
Yeah, we went out after that, and the next day, man, I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were pretty bad in the morning.
I was really bad. I mean, I woke up after a little bit. I got some coffee and some juice in me, and I was like, all right, I'm good to go now. But, man, I felt like a little bit like Garza.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's Heroes and Villains. I'm sure we'll have various other stories to talk about that in the future. And yeah, if there's one near you, because there's a lot.
They're fun. I do really, really recommend this.
Yeah, it seems like every other month they have one.
And their panels, I never get to see their panels because I'm working booth. But everybody that sees the panels is saying they're awesome.
Yep.
I mean, like last year, Bam was there, the stunt coordinator, and he said he supposedly they even got some fans up on stage and did some fight choreography with them.
One of the things I like this year is they had a band that was
the Batman band
dressed as the 66 Batman, Robin, Riddler, and I want to say there was another character there.
Catwoman?
No, I think it was all guys.
Yeah.
Maybe Penguin? Maybe Penguin. I can't remember who the fourth one was, but they were dressed up, playing a lot of like 60s rock and rockabilly stuff.
That was cool. I walked by,
they were
that was
pretty
fun.
good. Yeah.
You know, there's also a Transformer band like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that full-on Transformer like costumes, and their masks go like halfway.
Okay.
So their mouths move and they paint it, so it actually looks like the cartoon Transformers.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. All right, we're going to move on here. We've got a bunch of books to talk about. We are a little lax on our Rebirth coverage. We have all the July new volumes to talk about real quick here. We're going to cover this a little different than we did last time. We're going to be a little more free-form and not necessarily cover the Rebirth and number ones. We're just going to talk about them in a little more general sense, especially with some of these we've read past these issues now. So again, we can, at least me and Brock have read through most of them. Toby, I know you've read about half of them. So we'll talk about some of these here. I'll sort of mix these up so we kind of go back and forth. If you're reading the Rebirth issues, cool. If you're not, do be warned. We're going to talk probably some mild spoilers. I would think there's not a ton of real spoilers.
There's not really any spoilers. I mean, it's more of just it's
a lot of setup.
Yeah,
a lot of setup stuff. But overall, pretty good for the July books. There's a couple I think kind of missed the mark, but let's. Whereas I think the June stuff was solid top to bottom. I think July is a couple books that aren't the best, but we'll talk about those. First, we're going to start with Hellblazer. This is by, oops, I lost my page. Let's go back to it. This is by Simon Oliver, who has done, was he writing the previous series?
I think so.
I'm going to have to go back and look. And Moratat, I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name, I never know. But he did the Jonah Hex series under Jimmy Palmiotti and some other work. Great artist. So this is the Hellblazer Rebirth issue. This feels a little bit closer to the classic Constantine that I like. I felt the New 52 runs were a little too...
Well, the first New 52 run was very heavily weighted on his influence. It's kind of him coming out of Justice League Dark.
Right. It was a little too much the DC Constantine. I haven't actually read the second volume yet. It's sitting in my pile to read.
The second volume is...
It looks more
traditional Hellblazer, but it wasn't... some of the stories were really cool. Others, I was just kind of eh.
Well, this again, like most Rebirth issues, is kind of just giving you a good setup to the character. John Constantine has there's a demon that he, as he normally does, tricks, and now he's trying to save the day, right? As good old John Constantine.
I mean, it's not necessarily saving the day. He's kind of
saving himself.
He's saving himself and possibly screwing a lot of people.
Right.
Over
that's
in the
John
process.
Constantine. That's John Constantine. And they actually do a good job of bringing in a couple characters that bring in Shazam and Wonder Woman and Swamp Thing here for just a couple pages to kind of get involved in the big battle.
They brought in his driver. I can't remember his name.
Oh, Chaz.
Chaz.
Yeah, Chaz is part of this. Who was a character in the classic run as well. Yeah. Again, this I think feels closer to the Hellblazer from the Vertigo line. It's not 100% there, but I think it's getting there. Mm-hmm. So like a lot of these characters, I've got every. And this I told Matt Ryan too. I have every single appearance. Well, maybe not every single appearance. Definitely every single issue of Hellblazer that's ever been published.
Well, since I got a taste of Matt Ryan as Constantine, I read this book as if it was him, and I told you just yesterday. Reading it, actually, I kind of have a hard time. Just it's so wordy, and I kind of remembered harken back in the day when I tried to read Hellblazer to begin with. I had the same issue. I had for me, it's harder to read. But man, I would watch the fuck out of this. Like if this was Matt Ryan on screen, I would like watch the shit out of this. I love this. Right? It's just reading this pace for me is a little harder. So I do prefer a little more action than. A little more, flowage, than words, and this one I kind of have to think because once I read a little bit, I have to go back and like, oh, this is connecting the dots here, and that's the pun here, and for a guy like me, it's a little harder. But man, I enjoyed the book, I really did, man, and I just wish I could watch it instead of reading this, yeah. And we talked to Matt Ryan about this too. Like we almost don't wish Constantine to get renewed on CW. We want on AMC or Netflix, so they could go real dark. And you go, oh fuck yeah,
yeah. That'd be hard, but
it'd be so much more awesome though.
No, right.
So awesome.
Have you read the Hellblazer one yet?
No, I haven't read one yet. Okay. So. Just read the Rebirth so far.
It's good. It brings Swamp Thing in a little bit more. So.
Yeah. I know he's going to be a big role in the series. Let's move on to New Superman #1 by Gene Yang and I don't remember the artist's name. I got it here. She's actually
wouldn't that be on the front of the page?
No, but it doesn't always say their full names. I always think, I should actually.
He's Ryan's flipping through all the pages right now. So that's where we're kind of delaying and gibberish.
I should find the title page before I actually start talking about the comic because I can never pronounce this guy's name. It's Bogdanovic. You've seen this guy's art. You know who he is. This was kind of one of the big question marks for me going into this, where all the Rebirth books were about making the characters a little more classic and traditional. New Superman was kind of the one book that was very different. It was a brand new character and totally continuing from parts of the previous arc where they had the Death of Superman, the New 52 Superman.
It was he appeared in the Superman or the Batman Superman series.
Oh, he didn't.
He didn't?
No,
that wasn't him. Oh, no. that was the team.
No, that was another. They tried to create these characters before. Victor Bogdanovic. So this was sort of, I guess, the replacement of the Great 10. I love the Great 10 under Morrison, but no one else really made those characters click. So this is actually, there's a Chinese Superman, a Chinese Batman, a Chinese Wonder Woman, and they're trying to reform the Justice League. I think the problem I have with this book is occasionally they have a character like this. Firestorm started off a little bit like this, where you have kind of an asshole that becomes a superhero, and
he's a bully in this.
He's a bully, yeah. And so maybe in a year he'll be a cool character we like, but at least for the first 2 issues, which I've read so far, it's just an asshole.
Yeah, you don't care about him.
And I appreciate what they're trying to do with this book, but just did not click with me. So this kid beats up some fat kid with glasses and ends up getting superpowers, which kind of turn on and turn off. The Batman, the Chinese Batman, has ways of kind of turning his powers off. And I mean, I would like to think that, there's going to be growth with this character. But even like Spider-Man, Spider-Man's an asshole in his first appearance, but he's kind of learned his lesson by the end of the first appearance, and you've gone from there. Maybe just the way comics are done these days.
Well, I think you're going to get that at the 5th or 4th issue.
Right, at the end of the arc, right?
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be now anymore. I mean, comic books are not set up that anymore.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, there's not the entire story is not in the first issue anymore.
Yeah, I'm willing to kind of give it a little bit longer, because I love the Great 10 and I love the idea behind it, but there just wasn't a lot going into this issue for me. I like the creators. The art's great. I like Gene Yang's other work, but just, I don't know, just not what I'm interested in.
So I love all of Gene Yang's other work. I didn't read his Superman run, the previous one though, and the art I actually kind of enjoyed the art too. I really had no fucking interest in reading this book at all. Like, no interest at all, but I made an effort to just read it just because, an Asian book, so to say, written by a creator I really enjoy and respect. And, you know, reading it the whole time, I'm like, there's some elements in there I really like. I mean, you're talking about, you know, not liking this character, but I really enjoyed, like, the kid he bullies, the reason why he kind of bullies him, that you know, his mom died in the plane crash and this kid's, you know, parents work for this airplane. I thought that was, like, a nice little touch of, you know, what kind of made him, like, an asshole. So I actually really like that spin. I mean, I was like you, I'm like, you know, what the hell is this about? But when I got to that point, I'm like, okay, there's some seeds laid in here. There's some deeper stuff going on. I just don't. I mean, maybe this is kind of what, you know, a lot of Chinese society does, is, you know, copy a lot of other things, and you know, I thought we're a little weird about it.
Being the white person in the room, I didn't want to actually say that.
Yeah, but you know,
that's exactly. I felt like this.
I guess it's accurate. Maybe, like, I don't know. I don't know what to think about this book.
Weird social commentary on.
No, yeah. I mean, this is a weird social commentary on, you know, what happens.
Well, we've all seen these, like,
they're like bootleg Game Boys, bootleg, you know, you know, whatever.
Those action figure packs that have like 19 different heroes. In it. They're like the Justice Avengers or whatever.
Is this, you know, a pun or you know, a spiel on, you know, what if the Chinese government creates the Justice League? I mean, is that the idea behind this book? I almost wish it wasn't the Justice League. I wish it wasn't Superman. Like, they actually call it, like, you know, the Chinese Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman. I wish they just create their own heroes. But maybe
they did the Great 10 and no one bought them.
Yeah, so, you know, maybe this is a weird social commentary now. I really don't know. It was weird reading it, though. I mean, like, I kind of like, okay, this could be interesting. It could be a very dangerous path, but, you know, maybe this needs to be talked about. I'm just a dude that reads a book, right? So I don't know. I'm kind of curious now. I'm gonna keep reading, but man, that Justice League kind of weirds me out a little bit. But the book is written well, though.
It was difficult because I mean, he's interested. He becomes interested in a girl who's a reporter. You know,
with the double L.
Yeah, with the double L. And then it's like, you know,
Lois Lane. That kind of bugged me too. Why did it have to be Lois Lane?
Well, it's not Lois Lane.
Yeah, but it's like,
it's the
whatever. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, and then his father's a mechanic. Right?
Well, he only falls in love. He's just hitting her. Like, I don't think he's really, like, in love.
Yeah, but it's like, it's still, she's a reporter. Then it's like you're saying, it's like they're kind of copying, going, you know.
But that's the whole. And it's a bootleg copy of Superman.
It's a bootleg, and you get to the end of it, and it's like it's Bat-Man and Wonder-Woman. So you're kind of like, all right, I can see this as like an Elseworlds title.
Yeah,
but I couldn't see it as something that.
No, I see this in the regular universe. It's just like really weird that they're actually doing this. I mean, I own like Lord of the Rings, but all the chapter titles are like from another movie, you know. And I thought it was hilarious, so I kept those bootleg DVDs because of that, you know. But you know, it's just really weird, man. I hope they turn into other people or other characters later. Yeah. You know, maybe they start off this way, but yeah. I know Gene Yang had reservations writing this book actually originally because he is a guy that, you know, is an American basically now, right? I mean, you know, he has Asian roots, but this is a Chinese book, as in it happens in China, and he goes, I don't fucking know how to write this shit. So he actually interviewed a bunch of people over there. And,
did he really?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like, he did some research, and he wanted to do it right, but, you know, he's Asian, and he has a lot of deep Asian roots, but, you know, like, this is a book that happens over there. This is like, you know, writing some story that happens in Japan, like, written from a dude that's here. I mean, I grew up on a book by a German dude that wrote a bunch of Westerns, and I love those Western books, but he never came to America, right? So, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. It was just a weird random rant, but, you know, I actually enjoyed the first book, except for the weird bootlegging thing. Yeah.
Brock, you gonna stick with it for a couple?
Nah, I'm done. Issue 2 just didn't grab me enough.
Yeah.
To keep my interest in it. I mean, I like the.
Yeah, unless I hate it, I'm usually willing to give something an arc. But yeah, we'll see past that. All right.
Did you find the title page?
No, but I know the creators. Okay. But I did find the title page. Next is Red Hood and the Outlaws Rebirth #1, and although it came out later, I do want to very briefly mention a little bit about the first issue. This is by Scott Lobdell and Dexter Soy. I love Dexter Soy too. The artist on Red Hood is a really good book. Yeah. A really good artist.
Yeah.
So the Rebirth issue on this is a little bit more like maybe the Superman one, or not Superman, maybe a little bit more like the Green Lantern one, where it is taking the character sort of not retconning, but kind of redoing their origin a little bit, kind of freshening it up, giving you kind of a little more classic post-crisis origin.
Yeah.
For Red Hood,
which I enjoyed.
Yeah, and confirming some stuff that maybe got lost in the shuffle of the New 52.
Yeah,
and then kind of moving on. So you had the Outlaws and you had Red Hood and Arsenal, which I liked on and off, but never past the first arc. Never stayed great.
The first arc of that was really good with the New 52, and then it just kind of
tanked.
Fell, and then Red Hood and Arsenal was
not
just
good,
horrid.
So I was really worried because Scott Lobdell, same writer, right?
Yeah.
2 issues in, however, this is miles above what he was doing on those 2 series.
Yeah.
So the pitch for this is that he's much in the way Nightwing was killed, quote unquote, during Forever Evil, but he was actually sent undercover as Grayson as part of Spiral, and Red Hood kills, quote unquote, a mayor. And so everyone now thinks he's a villain, and him and Batman have this big fight, but he was actually saving the mayor's life. He injected him with some nano thing that saved his life, ultimately. And now Red Hood is considered a criminal. There's now underground helping Batman and kind of doing his...
He's basically undercover in Gotham's underworld for the
he's the Black Ops guy.
Yeah, Black Ops.
And the part of... Although... Even within the first issue, we only just see Artemis. We haven't got Brainiac yet. The team eventually is going to be Red Hood, Brainiac. I'm sorry, not Brainiac. Red Hood, Bizarro, and Artemis. So you have kind of the evil Wonder Woman and the evil Batman and the evil Superman. So maybe the art just kind of really worked for me because I really enjoyed both of these issues. I mean, the Rebirth was a little bit of more setup.
The Rebirth is kind of it was setting up the thing with the mayor and putting him in the underworld, but it was also kind of going over how he got there, kind of tightening up like an origin story for you and cutting out that excess that we had seen in New 52. It only touched on a little bit from that, not very much, but you got his death, him dealing with, Joker, all that stuff. So you got a good history of Red Hood in that Rebirth issue.
Yeah, I thought they did a good job of kind of compressing that a little bit into a book.
I enjoyed the book. I mean, I'm a big Bat Family fan. It's no secret. So Red Hood is a weird character for me because I always felt that Jason Todd should have stayed dead.
Yeah.
And if they were to bring him back, he should have been like one of the biggest arch nemesis ever. And when they didn't do that, and he's kind of like a kind of friend, kind of not. I was really always weirded out by it. But if they're gonna establish him as another Batman agent and he's gonna be a Black Ops guy, it could be very interesting. So I'm really curious about this book. I never quite got into the Arsenal and Red Hood friendship or team up. Because to me, Arsenal was always, more Dick Grayson's friend from the Titans connections,
right,
and
right.
Later the younger outsiders team,
right,
so to speak. So I always felt it was weird that those two guys would. I should have given him more of a chance, but
yeah.
I'm kind of curious about this and where it goes, and it's cool that we're going to Nightwing next because it seems like. The Batman, the Rebirth is set up like these Bat Family characters are back in the family, just to send them back out,
just to get rid of them.
Yeah, it's like they're all going in their little corners. But I really dig this though because they should do their own adventures, and then something big happens. They all come back for a giant Defender team up.
Well, it feels like we're getting kind of subliminal, like just under the radar Batman Inc. stuff, where Nightwing is out doing his thing with the Court of Owls. Red Hood is doing his thing with the Gotham Underworld. You have Batgirl who's
Batman,
doing her
Batman
own
family is just divide and conquering right now.
Yeah.
And they're all getting strong on their own selves. So,
yeah, I think what you said, Toby, about them kind of coming back for a crossover. I know they're going to do the Monster Man crossover, which is Detective and Nightwing. Okay. So they are going to come back for at least he'll come back for a couple issues, and then hook up with the detective team. So all right,
he'll be back on the Outsiders again.
Maybe. we have Nightwing by Tim Seeley and Yannick Pequet, and I actually know who's doing the art on the ongoing. Let me actually look that up. I know we do have one thing. Nightwing, he's back in blue. Javier Fernandez is the artist on the ongoing.
Thank you.
So this was obviously one of the most anticipated for DC fans, especially Nightwing back. Especially he'd been in the red suit for a while, and you think, oh, costume change, but man, that Nightwing blue, you just can't go wrong with it.
That's Nightwing, man. That's Grayson.
And we were gone. We didn't have.
It's seriously a welcome back, old friend.
Yeah, we didn't have Nightwing for a couple years, right? Because after Forever Evil.
Forever Evil was what?
So
2013?
I think so. That sounds right. So about 3 years.
The Grayson book's been fantastic. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, the Grayson ran, what, 20-some-odd issues?
Yeah. But it's good to see him back. But then, like you said, he's back just to go back out again.
Which I don't mind.
No, I thought it was
really
all right.
Don't. You know, I lost a little bit of track of the Red Nightwing stuff because I just didn't care for it anymore. And then I enjoyed the Grayson stuff, you know. But you know, the setup was cool. The Rebirth book was okay. I mean, it was a lot of, you know, I actually enjoyed the Rebirth for Red Hood a little more because
again, the Rebirth was a little more just
it's
rehashing.
You know, rehashing. You know, but it's just nice seeing him back, and I kind of like the circus take. It was the Robin stuff in the first issue, not in Rebirth.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I actually really liked Dick Grayson taking out, you know, young Damian to the arcades, and I thought that was really, really cool. And the whole circus thing about moving on. But,
no, that might have been, I think that's in the Rebirth issue.
Is it? And having, like, you know, the home being his roots. Mm-hmm. I actually kind of enjoyed seeing that established, and so that Grayson goes back out for his little missions.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when people ask, you know, oh, who's the best character in comics, who's the most important, you know, oh, Superman, no, Batman, Spider-Man. No, it's always Nightwing. Nightwing is the character he's as old as all of them, but has been the character that hits both generations, the younger characters and the older characters. He's the link between all the entire DC universe. He is the most important character in the DC universe.
Yeah.
And I love that Tim Seeley's a pretty good writer, and he's got a really good handle on this guy.
Yeah.
So the pitch for the Nightwing series going forward is that he is now undercover working with a guy named Raptor, a good guy, bad guy, I don't know, we'll see, working for the Parliament of Owls, not just the Court of Owls that's in Gotham, but this is like the Court of Owls.
The world of owls.
Yeah, so there's owls everywhere in the world, and not just Gotham, although that's where they kind of started.
There's a lot of owls.
Sprung from. And so they're working for and also trying to take down the Parliament of Owls. I like the issues so far, and I've read them all to date.
Yeah.
I'm a little done with the Court of Owls.
Yeah,
I kind of wish they'd move on.
Bring
them back in 5 years and have an awesome story.
Well, here's the interesting between us, because I actually missed out on the Snyder stuff.
Yeah, you didn't read any of that, huh?
No, I didn't read because I bought the wrong trades. You explained to me yesterday that I bought in all the fill-in issues, but the actual run I didn't get. So I was, and I remember Lane was kind of explaining it back then to me. So I was really confused about which books I'm supposed to read. So I just never read them. I wanted to, I just never read them. So I just missed all of that. So to me, this doesn't bother me just because I missed all of the Owl stuff before.
Do you know
kind
the story?
of? I mean, I watched the DC animated movie.
Okay. Yeah,
I feel like I failed in high school right now, and I didn't read the book. I watched the movie instead.
Read the Cliff Notes.
Yeah.
But I mean, Toby, you're the hardcore Nightwing fan.
I mean, like I said, I missed the Court Owl stuff. So to me, the Court Owl thing, it doesn't bother me. So
but does this read like classic Nightwing to you?
Yeah. Well, especially to me, Nightwing is never the big adventures. It's always the small things. Being the older brother, being the oldest sibling, so to speak. Him taking Damian out to the arcades. Damian calling out him out like a little brat he is. That like, Dad is gonna be a father is gonna be angry with you because he took me out to the arcade. All that. That's the stuff I just love and eat up, right? And you could call me boring, but I can never get enough of that stuff.
Yeah. Brock.
I've read them up to date.
You're the Dan Didio of Nightwing fans.
No, I mean I've enjoyed it for the most part. I think the art's a little hard for me with the book because I haven't read too much Nightwing. I mean it's okay.
Wait, what's the art's got to do with not reading too much Nightwing?
haven't read I haven't read a lot of Nightwing, so I haven't seen a comparison in art. I've only seen Nightwing with
the art's just normal.
For his Grayson run, I love the art in that. But I haven't really seen. That was Mikael.
Janet did the covers. Yeah, he did some of the interior stuff. Yeah, or sorry, Mikael Hanin. I learned how to pronounce that.
He was on one of the.
Huh?
Did he call you?
No, he was on one
motherfuckers.
of the...
I drew a comic book cover for you guys. You can't even spell my name.
No, he was on one of the DC... Or they were talking about him on one of the DC... All access shows.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Or did he call you and yell at you in another language?
No.
I kind of feel, I'm a little tired of the Court of Owls. I wish they would... Because the Court of Owls and the Nightwing stuff really tied together when it was coming out in the New 52.
Yeah.
And I think that we haven't had a cool down for the Court of Owls and bringing them back.
Yeah.
I can understand maybe he goes and he has to follow this guy Raptor to see where something's going, and then the reveal would be maybe the Court of Owls. But we're he's dropped in that he's undercover with the Court of Owls.
Yeah, I think that's his plan. So I don't think it would have worked to drop him in later. I just would have gone with a different direction to start with, and then bring the Court in later, because we had that arc, we had the Talon series, we had didn't they come back in something else? They're on Gotham, so I feel like I've just had a lot of Court of Owls recently.
You're owled out.
Yeah.
I did like seeing Midnighter in the Rebirth issue, and the funny thing,
the conversation between the two were pretty good.
The arch frenemies.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Nightwing is a great book in the sense that he's a mentor. And you can see that he's a mentor in this, and kind of a role model to the younger ones, and kind of something that people look up to. His peers look up to him too.
Mm-hmm.
And it was nice to see Batgirl come into it a little bit there.
Yeah, there's. Keep reading.
Yeah.
If you're a
issue 4 or 5.
If you're a what would a Barbara and Dick shipper be? If you're
a Toby,
if you're a brick shipper, if you're a brick shipper, you might not like the next couple of issues. But we'll see where they go. Let's see how they go with it.
I burned the issue. I burned down the whole story.
That's Toby. I don't think you got a chance to read this back stack here, right?
I don't think so. No.
But I think you're going to read Birds, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll at least talk about these other ones, and we'll talk about Bird Spray real quick. And I've realized actually Titans is supposed to be in this list, so remind me, we'll cover that next month. I actually forgot the first issue in this. But Justice League Rebirth and Justice League #1 by Brian Hitch, art by
Brian Hitch?
Yeah, he's the writer.
Yeah.
Art by Tony Daniel in the main series.
Oh, okay. I was like, how did I miss him?
No, he's not doing the art.
Okay.
He wrote and drew the Rebirth.
Oh,
issue.
really? Okay.
Yeah. And then Tony Daniel is doing the art in the main series.
I do like Tony Daniel.
Yeah.
Who also has written books from DC before.
Yep.
This one I think is great because this week we actually get to read the story that this comes after.
Yeah, so the original Justice League America arc that Brian Hitch is dealing with never finished. There's still 4 issues out, 9's out, 10, 11, 12 have not shipped, and I think this is supposed to be an annual. So there's 2 ways to do Justice League. I think you have, let's say 3. There's the Big 7 going on there, big major adventures with no real character building. I think the Morrison Justice League is a little bit of that. The Mark Waid run a little bit. The classic Silver Age runs, obviously. And then you have the Giffen to Mattis all character. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's big threats, obviously, but it tends to be small characters. Like the Dwayne McDuffie run was a lot of more obscure characters that they built a lot around. And then you kind of get somewhere in the middle where you're like, oh, we're going to have the main characters, but we're going to flesh out their stories a lot. Brian Hitch's run definitely falls more in line with the Morrison run, where it's just big, redonkulous, crazy action. Yep. And we're just going to skip on any character development or little story.
Well, the only character development that's going on in this one is, who is this new Superman? Do we trust this new Superman?
Yeah, but even that's being handled in the other books.
Yeah, but he's, I guess, attempting to put some development in there.
A little bit.
But yeah, it's just basically Cyborg, we need you here. Flash, we need you here.
Yeah, so the Rebirth issue is, again, a little more just a thematic setup. They're just trying to say, hey, look, the Justice League's back together. And then in the first issue, we get the bigger reveal of a massive planetary threat called I want to say the Reavers, is that right? The Kindred, I'm sorry. Yeah, the Kindred. No relation to wasn't there a Wildstorm Kindred?
Yeah, there was a Wildstorm Kindred book.
I don't think this is related.
That's a lame question.
Yeah.
Well, no, there's Kindred, and then there was Kindred 2.
So this, I feel like Justice League, if you want the like I said earlier, if you want the personality of these characters explored more, if you want the backstory, if you want the minor characters to come in and have more of a time, this is probably not the book for you. But if you just want Superman and Batman punching the shit out of stuff for 20 pages, this is definitely your book. And this is actually one of our best-selling comics. So I think a lot of people like just a big throwdown action comic.
That's what the Justice League... that's what team books are really... I think that's what people gravitate toward team books for, like the big ones, like Avengers, Justice League, the big teams. They just want to see all these characters just kick some ass. Whereas you can get a little bit more development in like smaller... in the other teams, like Outsiders and New Warriors and like Suicide Squad and stuff.
Well, in books where the characters are pretty much kept only in their own series, something like the New Warriors or something like the Outsiders, those books, that's going to be all character development. Yeah. Plus, there's going to be some big action. Something like Justice League and Avengers, I kind of just prefer when they're just out kicking ass and having huge adventures.
Yeah.
And I think they did a pretty good job with these. Brian Hitch might not be the greatest writer in the world, but I think he does a serviceable job. He just needs to fucking make sure these books get published, because we can't have any delays in these Rebirth books. They're not going to allow it, not the way they did on his last series.
I thought it was funny how they were like, oh yeah, and that Rao thing happened.
Yeah, we'll just kind of not acknowledge
it. You
it.
can read issue 9 this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, I enjoy it. Tony Daniel did a great job on the artwork. Hitch did a good job on the Rebirth title. So, I think they fit. It wasn't a huge transition from the Rebirth to Tony Daniels.
No, Tony Daniels' art's awesome.
To Daniels,
yeah.
So I can see why people really enjoyed the book, just because it's one of those ones where you just read it and it's like, you're just like eye candy. Okay, I'm done. I can wait for them.
Yeah.
So.
All right, we move on to Hal Jordan, The Green Lantern Corps by Robert Venditti. Rebirth done by art by Ethan Skyver, with the main series being done by Rafa Sandoval. Now, if you remember, there was a little writer at DC his name was Jeff Johns.
Little writer?
And he wrote a little character called Green Lantern that was really good. Myself, Charlie.
I think Charlie's rolling his eyes at you for saying little right now.
We enjoyed this a lot, Brock. I know you've gone through a lot of it.
I enjoyed the John stuff.
When he left in issue 20 of the New 52 run, we were all very sad.
Which was titled The End.
We were all very sad because
of happiness.
We knew it could not be replaced, but as long as we had a good, decent, fun Green Lantern book following his run, we could all be happy. That's not quite what we got. I'm getting pretty close to the end of the Green Lantern run because I'm still catching up with some of the New 52 stuff I fell behind on. There are good arcs within Vendetti's run.
So I think Vendetti had a rough start.
Very rough.
I think when we talked about it, when we reviewed because I think we reviewed the creative team changes at the time. I believe we all said, did he even read a Green Lantern book beforehand?
No.
So I think that over the course from issue 20 to issue 52, I think he kind of finally got into a groove.
I think the New Gods arc was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
The
rest.
There you go.
The New Gods was good, and it was an improvement over the
Lights Out was the first arc
or whatever that first one. Like every arc, the New Gods one was the best.
Godhead, right? Yeah.
Godhead was the best, but every arc after that was at least better than Lights Out.
Yeah. So when they said Vendetti was going to be the ongoing writer again on Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern Corps,
did he even leave at this point?
Well, no, he never left, right? I mean, that's the thing. So they continued his run over. I was, oof.
I can give you some good Vendetti to read.
Devastated. I've read some of his early Exo Manowar.
His Exo Manowar is really good.
But Johns part of his thing here, kind of spearheading Rebirth, was to sit down with all the creators and get them on course. And you brought in Ethan Van Sciver, who did Green Lantern Rebirth with Jeff Johns back in the day. So I went into this issue with just...
Your eyeballs were happy.
I was just trying to be as open as I possibly could. So let's just talk about the Rebirth special, just to start with that one. And much like... If you find out that Jeff Johns co-wrote this issue down the road, I would not be surprised.
No. Well, like the Green Lantern's Rebirth.
Yeah, he co-wrote that one. Right. This does to the New 52 run of Green Lantern what Rebirth did to the pre-Rebirth... Green Lantern Rebirth run. So they definitely are like, yeah, remember all that shit we had at the end of the last year, the whole DCU and all the end of the stuff, and the Legion lost, the Lanterns lost, and
Edge of Oblivion,
and Hal's got fucking Krona's power,
Krona's
power gauntlet.
That was the.
We're just gonna throw all that shit in the corner, and they're all back, and we're all back, and Hal's back, and that's now. I don't care. Now the thread is fine, right? The thread here is basically that Sinestro and the Yellow Lantern Corps have taken over in the absence of the Green Lanterns.
Well, the thing is that's the stuff that came out of the Sinestro book,
right? That's towards the end of the run.
The Sinestro book is that whole run is awesome.
So the setup here is that Hal and now the remaining Green Lantern Corps that have returned from being away, they are now trying to retake the galaxy away from the Yellow Lanterns. And so both this book and Green Lanterns, both to me, corrected a mistake that actually kind of slowly happened through the Jeff Johns run, but especially in the New 52 stuff, became kind of permanent, and that was making the Yellow Lanterns and Red Lanterns kind of good guys. Mm-hmm. So now the Yellow Lanterns are just fucking bad guys again, and Green Lanterns, the Red Lanterns are definitely bad guys again. And I mean, I liked the Red Lantern book when it came out, but it never, you had a good core of Red Lanterns, and I'm like, no, they're the fucking Red Lanterns. They're supposed to be evil as shit. And especially with now a kind of reborn Sinestro. Mm. I have high hopes for this book. I've read a couple of them now. It stayed pretty solid. It's definitely better than anything during his first run. He's not a bad writer. I just don't think he had a handle on the core the entire time. And now this feels
I think
much better.
I think that this book brought us if this was what we had gotten right after Johns' run,
totally fine.
It would have been totally
fine.
Yep. The only thing is I think we wouldn't have had the Sinestro Corps where it was.
Well, no, because at that point the Sinestro and the Corps were Sinestro was dead, right?
No, it wasn't dead.
At the end of John's run?
At the end, that's a future. Remember, the end shows the future.
But I mean, they kept Sinestro out for a little while.
They kept Sinestro out for a little while, and then he had come back in his series. But Bunn had done such a really great job. That was the best Lantern book you could read at like after Johns, it was. I mean, the core stuff was okay, but the Sinestro book was the best book out for Lantern books. Yeah. But I think that this does a very good job of bringing us to where we wanted to be after Johns, but also incorporating the really great stuff that we got from Sinestro and kind of getting us back to the war of, it's like the Lanterns are what they are. Mm-hmm. Like the Red Lanterns are rage induced. They're not good guys. Sinestro, they think they're good guys in instilling fear in people to, subdue them to make the galaxy a better place, but they're not the good guys. And I think one of the best things in the Rebirth issue was how
whoa, look out. Hold on, I'll wait till Ashley comes in so I can say this, so he can hear me say this. Like a shitty 90s Marvel comic, last-minute cameo by a surprise guest star.
Oh, how exciting!
So, Bryce, we were discussing Flash 178, the 17th appearance of Captain Boomerang in our 16-part crossover, discussing every appearance of every member of the Suicide Squad. I would like to get your opinion personally on this issue. I actually totally made that issue. I don't know if Captain Boomerang appeared in that issue or not. No, we were discussing some Rebirth books, so you could sit in a corner and be quiet.
Yeah, that sounds about what I'll have to do. You didn't give me any homework because I didn't think I'd be able to make it. But
you're talking to a mic that's not on, by the way, right now. So.
Oh, it says it's on.
Oh, here. Do this. There we go. Are you on now?
If you plugged me in, like you did last night. Anyway, no. I have nothing. I have nothing to add. These look cool. I haven't read them. I liked the first batch that I read that weren't these.
I'll give you a stack if you want to read the number ones.
I liked the first batch that you gave me. But yeah, sorry, I have nothing to add.
Well, we're almost at the very end, but you can answer some of these questions for us. The last ones we want to cover, Brock. Sorry to cut you off, but we're running a little long here. I do want to cover Batgirl Birds of Prey number 1. The Rebirth number 1 by Julie Besson and Shauna Besson and Claire Rose, the artist, and then Batgirl number 1 by Hope Larson and Raphael Albuquerque. These books pretty different from each other, but because they're both Batgirl books, talk about them together. Toby, I really want you to read these books because I want to get your take,
okay?
Especially the Batgirl, the Birds of Prey one, because my hope is
put her back in a wheelchair.
My hope is in 6 months we have a real classic Birds. Right,
yeah.
We're not there yet.
Okay,
it's going to take a while.
Okay,
because we still kind of have a little bit of the the end of a little bit of the end of the New 52 Batgirl.
Yeah,
she's not quite there yet to
yeah.
classic Batgirl again.
Yeah,
we have somewhat of a return to form Black Canary, like in Green Arrow, but not quite there yet.
Yeah,
and we really have the first Huntress.
Yeah.
Because we had the World's Finest Huntress, which is the Batman's daughter from Earth 2, and then Huntress in Grayson was not quite. It was not
Huntress,
right? Yeah. So we're kind of now getting classic Huntress, but this isn't like we're not even to Birds of Prey miniseries number 1 yet. Like we're still building, so I'm willing to give them a little benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I love these characters. I hope their relationship gets a little more classic. I want Black Canary a little bit more of a, I don't say motherly role, but more of a leader role.
Yeah.
And for this one specifically, I'm kind of going to give it I enjoy it. The big thread is that there's a character named Oracle that is tormenting them, and so I want to see where that goes. But for Batgirl, they're definitely trying to kind of split the difference between the Burnside Batgirl and the Gail Simone Batgirl. So she's traveling to Japan. I really like the art. I love Raphael Albuquerque. He's an amazing artist. So I'm again, I don't need this stuff to switch back in an issue. It has in some comics. I feel some of these books have just like Green Arrow is just like we're just classic Green Arrow in one issue. But I like what they're doing with Batgirl in this book. It's not my favorite. But I'm hopeful that the return to a more classic relationship. Nightwing's in both the Batgirl and Nightwing comics have kind of played off each other a bit. Yeah. She's traveling from Japan back to help Dick Grayson, and then there's kind of a fight, and so she goes back to Japan. So it's an interesting place to put Batgirl. I mean, very far away, obviously, from Gotham. But I think if they need an arc or two to get her back to a good place, and then you bring her back to Gotham, I think that's an okay. These are not going to make my top of the list, but I enjoyed them. If you're fans of the characters, definitely worth reading. Probably a skip if you don't really care. I don't think it's going to sell you on it if you're not already kind of invested.
In the New 52, I actually given up on the Birds book.
Oh, that Birds book just never clicked.
No, it was never right. Yeah.
Batgirl, I liked a lot of the Gail Simone stuff, but yeah, the Birds of Prey book just never.
Barbara
right.
back in a wheelchair.
I'm okay with her being Batgirl, but it just you need that good connection between the three characters, and we're not there yet. It's going to take a little while.
But I just don't know if we're going to get it without the ringleader, because to me, Barbara was always the ringleader. Yeah, and that hasn't been the case in a long time.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going to go with it.
Yeah, I mean, the Birds of Prey book right now, I'm like, it was okay, but it didn't catch me. Like it didn't grab me. It felt like you said kind of disjointed. Like it wasn't. If it was 12 issues in, it might feel a little bit more cohesive.
That's what I hope, is that they can build these characters back to where they were. Because, again, that's part of some of the Rebirth stuff, is to get them slightly more classic takes. I just don't think, with a couple issues of Birds of One out, right? The Rebirth and one. If you, like I said, if you're looking for Green Arrow, where it's just boom, instantly back to classic, that's not the book for you. But give it a couple issues. I think the writing's solid, the art's fine. It again, not going to tear up the charts. Not my favorite. Far from the worst. But I give a tepid recommendation. I'd say if you're willing to stick it out for 12 issues, it'll probably end up okay because it's a solid start. But
yes, as for Batgirl. And I think just the Burnside Batgirl left such a bad taste in my mouth.
Until she's fully out of that costume.
Until she's fully out of that costume. I'm like, I don't mind seeing Barbara travel the world and stuff.
Yeah, that's a cool idea for Batgirl.
She's successful. She has her own business. She's kind of taking a break from this larger than life life that she has. But she also is Batgirl. To me,
it never goes away.
It never goes away. Yeah. But it's like you're still holding on to that Batgirl that just doesn't feel right.
We haven't. Yeah, I mean, we are not a classic Batgirl yet, but I hope we get there. Mm-hmm. This is better than any of those issues of the past arc I read, like by a mile.
Even I've read issue 2, and even with the kind of awkwardness with the guy she meets that she's known for a while, it gets a little more awkward in the next issue. It's still enjoyable. It's still an okay read, but. Yeah, not top of the list.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna obviously take a little bit of time. We're gonna definitely get back on this and talk about the August issues, which are just finishing wrap up. We're definitely later here on our Rebirth coverage, but we will continue to talk about these. Now, Bryce and Brock, are you guys ready to talk about all the new Marvel #1 shipping in a couple months? Get ready.
A couple months?
Couple months.
Oh,
couple months.
Are they already? How many of these of this glorious, beautiful wall of Marvel Comics are rebooting? Half of them?
Yeah, like half. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Actually, since you're here, Bryce, let's go straight to you. If you can remember this, we got a bunch of questions here. Let's cover some of these here. This is from Cisco. He says, "What 5 Marvel Now books is Byrce Larsen most hyped for?" New titles. Now, this is a little difficult because we actually don't have a list in front of us here.
Yeah, where's the
I don't have any more of those magazines. Yeah. But no legacy. All new different books. Just the new ones. I think that's all going to be Civil War stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So wait. So does Ulysses count? Because he just had his #1. I'm hyped on that.
No, because that's the
because it's Civil War.
That's the He's talking about the ones that are coming.
That's current Marvel Now. He wants the new Marvel.
Yeah, so let's
Marvel Now in 3 months.
So let's go with the new titles here. Okay, I'll read a list here.
How long is the list?
More than 5 books.
You know, Ryan loves his list. Let him read his fucking list.
He does love lists. I'll give you it in the top 5 or not. Go for it.
Okay, Mark Waid Avengers, pretty classic Avengers team for the most part.
Really? Because Mark Waid's current Avengers is not at all a classic Avengers. It's terrible.
It's more closer to classic than.
Okay, so like the Hulk that's not my Hulk, the Thor that's not my Thor, the Cap that's not my Cap, and the Iron Man that's not my Iron Man.
No, but it's Vision. Who is it? Vision.
Okay, I'll put that one on the bubble. That might make it to the top 5. I do like Mark Waid.
Occupy Avengers, which is some garbage Hawkeye.
No, that's going to the bottom.
Okay, yeah,
that's
there you go.
Well, who's writing it?
David Walker, who's doing Nighthawk. Just got canceled. I think he's the writer on that.
Okay.
That book got canceled and people are mad, but it's a bad book. So, Al Ewing and Paco Medina on U.S. Avengers featuring Red Hulk with the mustache and Squirrel Girl.
Nope. Hard pass.
Okay.
I love Paco Medina, so that leaves an empty spot in my soul. Keep going.
Al Ewing and Trevor Foreman's on Ultimates. Ultimates 2.
The current team?
Yeah. Well, yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Okay, that's also in the bubble. Are you going to get to the end and I'm not going to have any in the top 5?
Maybe. Great Lake Avengers featuring Squirrel Girl.
Who's writing it?
Zach Gorman. I'm familiar with him.
I'm hyped on that. That's in the top 5.
Okay. Unstoppable Wasp, the new Kid Wasp.
Hard pass. Move. I don't even want to know who writes it.
Mike Costa and Geraldo Sandoval, who I really like. Venom. little more classic take on Venom.
Nope, pass.
Okay. Jerry Conway on Amazing Spider-Man, Renew Your Vows. Ryan Stegman back on art, but Ryan Stegman 2016 is not Ryan Stegman 2013.
Renew Your Vows. Is it Peter Parker?
We don't know.
I mean, it's Renew Your Vows, so I assume, but it's never safe to assume. Okay, that's also on the bubble. Man,
we don't have too many left.
We're not doing good.
Robbie Thompson on Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme.
Love it. Can't wait.
Doctor Strange spin-off book. Chip Zdarsky on Star-Lord. I'm down for that. Oh, and Chris Anka, too, who I really like.
Chip Zdarsky on Star-Lord?
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, okay, that's in the top 5. Okay, so we're up to 3. That's also in the top 5.
Down with
Chip
that.
Zdarsky, Star-Lord?
Yeah.
Give it to me.
Riley Brown, Fred Van Lant, and Mike Norton on Slapstick.
No. And Skip Solo, too. Although, I did like Slapstick when I was 12.
Jerry Dugan and Paco Diaz on Solo. That's the next one.
Paco Diaz.
Yeah, I always knew I was going to...
Paco Medina?
No, Medina's on US Avengers.
I'm not excited about Solo.
Yeah. Max Bemis on Fool Killer.
Fool Killer has his own book?
Yep.
I am hyped for that. Give it to me. Give me all the variants. Wait, because how many more are left?
And one left.
Oh, God. Okay. Take off Fool Killer, add Slapstick. I'll give Slapstick a number 1.
It's Sean Ryan and Jamel Campbell on Prowler.
Oh my God! What? How many Spider-Man D-list?
Those are all spinning out of Deadpool, Merc with
And
Money.
Yeah. But I mean, originally those sound like all.
Oh, they are D-list
New
Spider-Man.
Warriors / Spider-Man.
Nova's not on that list.
There was no solicitation for Nova. There's been nothing official with that yet.
Did we ever figure out what happened with the complete lack of any X books? Are these just all sort of continuing and not getting rebooted, or are they all ending?
Death of X.
Right, but are they actually all ending, or are they just not being rebooted?
I mean, I think most of them are continuing.
Okay,
but there's that Death of X miniseries, which takes place post Secret Wars, prior to any of these issue number 1s. It takes place during that 9-month gap or 8-month gap or whatever.
So we're going to find out what happened to Cyclops?
Yeah, that's the point of it.
And hope.
You hope.
Oh.
So there's a couple there.
And so is Vision in a surprise twist ending going to actually continue with Tom King and he's not going to DC?
No, but as far as I know, 12's it. They're actually in the book, which they absolutely
All right, so that's my top 5. That is a very weak top 5. Take off Slapstick and add back on US Avengers or the Mark Waid Avengers. If it's a relatively classic team. That's my 5.
I hope so. I hope it's slightly more classic.
Another question,
but that is a weak 5. That is
we'll
in terms of hyped level. It's not very big.
A lot of people telling me they don't want my 16-part Suicide Squad podcast. Did you see the news? We covered it earlier, but did you see the news about a New Warriors television show with Squirrel Girl being the main character? Half-an-hour comedy show pitched by Marvel.
For what network?
Nothing official yet.
Oh, because on Netflix it would be incredible, and for ABC it would be terrible. So I did not hear about that, but that would be awesome if it was for Netflix.
All right, here's one for Toby. I mean, it's to me, but it's for Toby. If you were putting together your own A-team using members of the podcast crew, who would be your B.A. Baracus? Who's your Murdoch? He says, I'm assuming Ryan is Hannibal, of course.
Are you? Are you?
Why is Ryan Hannibal?
Well, this is rather easy today because Charlie is not here. So you're Hannibal, Brock is BA, Bryce has to be Face.
Yeah.
That just means I'm the crazy nutty one. So it makes perfect sense.
That sounds right.
So it makes perfect sense. I guess Charlie could be Amy or the fifth member that was in the last season. Either one would be bad for Charlie, man.
So I'm familiar with the A-Team, only that I know that there was a TV show and a movie, and Mr. T was in it. But who are these guys? And I know this is sacrilegious to not know.
Hannibal is the crazy veteran who is a super good planner, fantastic mind. He can figure.
He's like a MacGyver.
He can figure. No, the MacGyver is actually more BA than anybody, but he can figure things out 5 steps ahead than anybody, and he has. And his plans are usually
crazy.
His plans are usually a little nutty. Like in the TV show, they always say he's on the jazz again. Because he's like,
I can see that for Higgins.
Sounds like me.
He's crazy.
BA is kind of the angry, brooding dude, but he gets along with kids, and he's usually the driver,
the muscle.
Yeah, he's He
sounds
drives
exactly
the van.
like Brock.
Yeah,
I pity the
exactly. He
fool.
sets things up. He has to
Wow.
do all the mechanical stuff. He builds the shit.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Who am I?
Templeton Peck, Faceman.
Faceman?
Yeah,
Do I have superpowers?
he's he does.
You're the pretty boy.
He can talk anybody.
pretty boy.
He can talk anybody into doing whatever he wants. He can talk
Really?
anybody into giving him in whatever he needs, whatever the A-team needs. Any girl
Except liking
falls in
Marvel.
love with him. Your wife shouldn't
Well, now
listen
it
to this
sounds
right
like
now.
now it sounds like I was named after him.
Yeah, no, you're totally him.
Okay,
and
and who are you?
Howling Man Murdoch is their pilot, who actually Mr. T or BA and Howling Man Murdoch actually do not get along. They actually hate each other. And he's the nutball. He is actually clinically insane.
Okay.
Who has to break out of the asylum all the time to help them on their little missions.
That's
I
perfect.
think they
Yeah.
stole their personalities from us. Actually, they went back in
that sounds
time.
just like you. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
and Charlie's Amy. That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
Charlie's
Who's
Amy.
Charlie's
Amy-
the van. Charlie's just the van.
Amy is the news reporter in the first couple of seasons that is basically the pilot episode. She hires them and then she kind of helps them through the first couple of seasons. And then I actually forgot why she disappeared, but she's their April O'Neil. So I guess Charlie's our April O'Neil.
Yeah, she loves everything. That sounds just like Charlie.
Yeah.
Okay.
She does smile a lot at their plans, and I
Yeah.
guess that's what kind of Charlie does with us. So maybe there's this weird,
Okay, so-
connection. There's a fifth member that shows up in the last season though, but he's not very Charlie-like.
So here's the real question: who is a bigger Cable fan, Face or Amy? Who likes Cable more? Because I'm pretty sure it's Face.
Face,
And if it's not, let me convince you
Face
otherwise.
Can convince anybody,
Okay.
so he automatically wins.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing we got Bryce here. We have one more question here that I want to ask. And it's from, of course, our good friend Indicator. He says,
My man.
because all of us we don't know what's going on yet. Maybe you're not familiar with this, Bryce, but we'll talk about this.
I'm
if
familiar.
you are.
I'm familiar,
He wants to know, what does the group think of Marvel's MU event by Cullen Bunn? Have you seen these?
I would have preferred it was FU. Would have been a lot more fun.
There have been a series of
Farvel Comics.
There have been a series of little teaser images sent out by Marvel that just say MU and kind of different colored
Creators, right?
fonts and stuff. And it's
They have different creators too.
Cullen Bunn, right,
Yeah, yeah.
along with Greg Land, Steve McNiven, and Adam Kubert. So this is something happening in 2017. Some believe possibly Wolverine related, because these are some of the people that did the Death of Wolverine stuff. Possibly Fantastic Four related. The color scheme and a few of them might be somehow related to FF. So, obviously three big great artists, and Cullen Bunn's a pretty solid writer.
That's going to be their summer thing next year.
Haven't said. This is just as 2017.
Is now the time of year when approximately the next year's summer's event has sort of started to leak, typically year to year, or does it vary too much?
This is January 2017, so not summer. I'm sorry, early.
So it's like the original.
Oh,
Sin.
apparently we're going to find out Thursday.
I just imagine fucking Trevor painting our faces over the A-team and putting Charlie as Amy.
You're still on that. I love it. Okay, so let me tell you what it is.
January would be just post the end of all the new number ones coming out, because I believe they said it's like a 3 to 4 month plan for the Marvel Now
and just in time for the next one?
And just in time for the next relaunch.
Okay, so what happens is that every character in the Marvel Universe currently is sent to a different planet, and they all exist on separate planets.
The Marvel Universe,
and it becomes the Marvel Universe, and they're allowed to visit each other's planets for silly slapstick adventures without slapstick, the character. And the reader's job is to fly around on a spaceship and very slowly upgrade their pack and their ship while they go and they visit one fucking Marvel character per planet on their way to collecting them all.
Wasn't sure where you were going there at first, but I get it now. So
Okay, thank you.
no Marvel Sky.
No Marvel Sky. on your way to the center of the Marvel Universe, where Galactus lives, protecting the rebirthed DC universe.
Now look,
and the Marvel universe.
Let's stop beating around the bush here, okay? Once again, despite what Bryce and Twitter would tell you, and our Facebook group would tell you, I want nothing more than 60 amazing readable Marvel comics that sell fantastic and that everyone loves, right? I would kill to have
a proper X-Men book,
a classic Marvel universe back after years of the shit they've been pulling.
Would you say years or decades?
No, it's been years. So I actually there was a conversation I had with guys over at Big Bang Comics on Twitter, because they do their monthly or their weekly list of all their comics.
Big Bang, huh?
Yeah, that's my buddy Sean's store in Dublin.
Big Bang.
I told him I could never work there if that was the name of the store. I'd burn it to the ground first, but they deal with it. So with those, where was I going with this? Fuck, what was I saying?
60 Marvel books that were good.
Yeah.
Decades. Sorry. This whole thing about decades. I said, look, if you go back, and imagine if you had Electric Superman, The Return of the Four Supermen, Azrael Batman, Kyle Rayner, Wally West, Black Costume Spider-Man, Grey Hulk, Captain America, U.S. Agent, or whatever you want it is, right? Ben Reilly Spider-Man. Imagine if this all happened in the same month. People would be like, what in the hell is going on here, right? That's kind of what we had last year with Marvel and DC with the DCU stuff. So
like all on its own would have been fine, but all at the same time.
Exactly.
It's kind of like overdrive.
They're all classic takes. They're all cool events that were like, hey, we're going to mix it up here for a couple months, or in some cases a couple years. Mm-hmm. They're all very fondly remembered, and they make endless variant covers and action figures about these guys. But because they were a single blip in the kind of traditional character's history that you can kind of go back to, but doing it all at once, like if they did the female Thor thing, or Falcon as Cap, or Gordon as Batman, all this stuff is cool in theory, but when it all happens at the same time, like people...
The Falcon, let's remind everybody that it happened right after the Winter Soldier Cap.
Right.
It was like one after another.
Yeah, very shortly.
Right after another.
Yeah, he was not Cap for very long. It was just that one series by, what's-his-face, where he's often...
Yeah.
You liked that series, didn't you, Bryce? The one where he's often...
Remender?
Yeah, the Remender run of Cap was in space.
I did like it, kind of in spite of myself. For the first... I do like the idea, and I like arcs that take 12 issues, but it was really just me fooling myself that Remender could do no wrong. I mean, really. I mean, I do like the idea of a 12-issue cohesive arc with a cool, fun story.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it had JR art, so, I mean, that alone disqualifies it from being good.
We got a couple here from Cisco. Let's hit a few of these up. He has a few more questions. He said, has there ever been a Booster Gold and Legion Superheroes crossover? And maybe see one during Rebirth. Technically...
Yeah.
Technically, they're all crossovers, because Booster Gold has a Legion flight ring, and he has Brainiac 5's belt. He stole this shit. That's how he has a lot of superpowers. But there's never really been like a real crossover with these characters.
I'm trying to think if they had one in the Johns Jurgens stuff.
They've met.
I want to say I think they had an issue at least with like 3 of the Legion characters.
Yeah, I mean they've met. There's been stories with
like
them.
The liaison
Superman,
characters, right? Saturn Girl.
Yeah, but there's never been like a big crossover. And Booster Gold and Legion are completely missing in Rebirth. Mm-hmm. So there's talk of doing them, but
no, I want to say that Brainiac. Because I remember reading a story where Brainiac's like, wait a second, that's my belt.
Yeah. They've met, but there hasn't been like a major event with those characters. He says, not a question per se, but please tell me Champions who won't outsell, that's the new Marvel's Champions titles, won't outsell Teen Titans in September. No, there's zero chance of Champions outselling Teen Titans in September, because Champions doesn't come out till October.
And it'll be delayed until November.
No, it'll come out in October, and it'll be a huge launch for Marvel. They're putting a lot of effort behind that.
Really?
As far as issue number 2 and 3 and 4, I don't know, right?
Who's writing that?
It's Mark Waid and Humberto Ramos doing art.
I love those guys.
And
wait.
He'll do fine on a Champions book.
Who's on the team?
It's Kid Nova, Viv, Miss Marvel.
Yeah, but I mean, for a kid's book, he's actually a really good artist.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well, I mean, it's
like kid's character, I think. Like,
sure.
Like,
it's the Impulse team.
Yeah,
it's the same team.
Yeah.
Who else is on it? Amadeus Cho and am I missing someone? I feel like I'm missing someone. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But no, it'll be a really big launch for Marvel, but we'll see where it goes after the first issue. Might be hit. Do I have one more here? A lot of people ask me about this New Warriors TV show. Man, I don't know. That's some crazy shit. Bryce, what's your take on New Warriors? Half an hour comedy series, New Warriors TV show starring Squirrel Girl.
I mean, I'm telling you, it depends on which network they do it on. I mean, that just makes such a big difference in my answer. So I'll try to quickly do each one. So for Netflix, I mean, they could do it. I mean, they have a bunch of good, not just Netflix.
Kimmy Schmidt. I mean, Kimmy Schmidt's like the answer, right?
Perfect. And it would have that girl as Squirrel Girl, obviously. But yeah, so that would be incredible. They could get some money for some special effects, but they're not like a largely special effects driven team, so they wouldn't need that many.
We were talking about this. Half the team is big special effects. Speedball, Nova, Firestar, Justice.
Well, Nova, I would argue, isn't like that.
The other half isn't. That's the thing. The team's really split.
Right. Speedball, yes, and who's the other one? Oh, Firestar. Yeah. Oh my god, that would be so cool.
Justice.
But you know what they would do is if they did like the first season would only be like 4 or 5 of them. Because they don't want to like overwhelm people. If it were on ABC, they'll do some hack job and they'll like fit everybody in, and then every other person would get name dropped, like the villains in Gotham. Like they'll have the whole New Warriors from like the entire every New Warriors run ever will show up in the first season, at least in a cameo. But yeah, I would love some Tao shows up, that old Chinese lady, and they have to battle her.
Cord.
Oh yeah, Sphinx.
Dude, that would be the greatest arc ever.
That would be great. Anyway,
why do I get the feeling we'd get an episode where they're just eating pizza in an apartment and talking?
Well, that's exactly what'll end up happening.
Right. There'd be some great dynamics with Night Thrasher and his brother. They bring in the brother to be, as an antagonist. Silhouette, there's a little relationship there, of course.
But Squirrel Girl being like the main character, I feel like it's just they're going to go too goofy and not. The New Warriors is a fairly serious comic, and Squirrel Girl it is a funny comic, but they are more serious adventures at the end of the day. So I don't know what I think of this thing.
Yeah, I think it's fun to speculate because we don't know anything about it.
Sure.
Not the least of which is whether or not it's even real, but. The which network it would be on, the length, the actual format that they would go with. I mean, sticking with Squirrel Girl seems like, sticking some other character into a situation where they're totally unneeded. So,
All right, I got 2 last questions here. One from Mitchell.
Hey, Mitch.
Says, I'm almost finished with the audiobook of Lock and Key. Pretty good. That's the series from IDW. Any further graphic novel, I'm going to read it next. I read the first couple issues. I really liked it. Just one of the series I just fell behind on and never caught up with. So
I think I have 5 of the 6 trades.
You read them all?
I read the first one.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I just haven't had a chance to go back and read the other ones.
Yeah, it's a horror series. It was interesting. But again, I read it when it was first coming out and I didn't stick with it. So
it's written really well.
It's on that list of books to read.
Your independent list is almost infinite.
My independent list is embarrassingly bad. Finally, we have a question from the Comics Social Club on Twitter. They says, who would win in a fight, Scott Snyder's Batman or Zack Snyder's Batman? Good question.
Well, Zack Snyder's Batman would kill him. So that would be
only if he was in a.
That would be a boring fight.
Only if he was in a van or a truck or something.
Exactly.
I don't know. That Scott Snyder's Batman's pretty badass.
He's pretty vicious. Yeah.
I mean, just him exercising on the tower.
We haven't had I don't think we've had enough Zack Snyder Batman yet to really know.
Well, then, but then it's going to be Zack Snyder or Ben Affleck Batman.
Well, that's
because if Ben Affleck's directing his own movie,
it's the same.
Oh, how did we not talk about Deathstroke?
Yeah, do you guys like that Deathstroke?
I mean, the visuals look cool. For anyone that doesn't know, Ben Affleck drops this bomb on Twitter that's like, "Oh, here's like 30-second test footage of Deathstroke." We don't know what it is. Like, we're not going to tell you. Probably Justice League.
I would absolutely love Deathstroke, but I don't like him in armor.
What?
Do you want him in?
Doesn't he?
Like naked? Like
He's
No,
always
he
wears
been in
armor.
armor.
They
I thought that he wears like
Chainmail?
Yeah.
I mean,
It varies with the beefiness of the armor.
And look, I mean, I thought it was like a more like a suit, like the Christopher Nolan Batman suit.
that is straight out of like Arkham, like the Arkham game.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he has, yes, in the past he has worn cloth like every character.
Yeah, because he's like sword fighting, rooftop to rooftop jumping.
But these days, Deathstroke's way more like just fucking
mercenary
militant. Yeah, just
So he's
armored
up,
out
huh?
Batman.
Okay,
armored
okay,
out Batman. Yeah.
I don't know, but I think that test footage shot New Titans #2 up in price.
Probably. But that came out of fucking nowhere. I mean, people had rumored it for a while, but oh god,
Dude, that would be so good.
well. So most people, I mean, I don't know how official it is, but a lot of people think, this is going to be the solo Batman villain. This is going to be the villain of the movie, and not Joker and Harley, right? Yeah. Which I actually think is a smart move. Give those characters some room to
give breathing room to the bigger characters and bring
them a cameo.
Yeah,
or,
bring in some other characters because I mean the Bat Rogues Gallery is just
endless.
There's so much you can do with it.
Yeah, and Deathstroke is by far one of the
haven't
best.
done Deathstroke ever in any movie ever before.
Well, it's brilliant also because all the kids that grew up on the Titans cartoons are growing up and ready for these kind of movies.
Season 2 of Arrow, best season. Deathstroke was awesome in that.
I also thought his mask was like a Deadpool Spider-Man type of mask. I didn't think that it was like a helmet.
Again,
I'm
classic.
I'm not really complaining. Like again, talk about nitpicks. Like that's the least of my worries. If they do Deathstroke in a fucking movie, that's incredible.
No, if you go back to first appearance of Deathstroke, it's a mask. It's like Spider-Man.
Okay,
right?
okay,
Totally, 100%.
That's really not gonna hang me up on it. But I'm very excited about Deathstroke if they actually do it.
Yeah, like
that would be incredible.
This looks very, very heavily influenced from the Arkham games, which is like.
Was he in the second one? That's the only one I've played. The second one.
He's in the first one brief. He's in Asylum briefly, and then he's in
Asylum.
He's in the Rebirth one.
Yeah, he's in the third one.
Is he in
City?
I don't think he's in City.
Well, he's in this. He's in
Arkham.
He's in Arkham City because you have that big fight with him in Arkham City in Penguin's level.
I mean, he's been in the third. I think he's more.
He was more in Arkham City and Origins.
Yeah.
He was. I think he was briefly in Asylum, and he was briefly in.
Isn't he the stupid tank fight?
I mean, look right there. He's not wearing armor.
No,
he's wearing like
the tank fight,
a costume,
Jason
like
Todd,
Batman, like.
There's some armor on here. There's a little like Deadshot.
Look,
like,
it's not hanging
like,
me up. I would love Deathstroke. I would
Deadshot in Suicide Squad.
Oh, I also haven't played
Second
Injustice.
tank
He's
fight.
probably in that video.
Yeah,
I haven't played that either.
That was Deathstroke. Yeah, he's been in the Arkham games, and the character in that's just great to watch and when he comes in and stuff. So, I mean, I think with the games and with him being in Arrow, I think it's a good character to bring over for the big screen.
Yeah, he's the second best Deadpool in comics.
It just means we're never going to get him back on Arrow now.
Oh yeah. No, I don't think we. Well,
what? Why
I guess
not?
I guess
they
he
have Flash and Flash.
Yeah, but
I guess
a lot of the Suicide Squad got suicided when they announced the movie.
Well, Flash rumors for the Flash movie is that the villains are Captain Cold and Golden Glider.
Oh, really?
So, and obviously they're not getting rid of him.
Well, and the thing is, I mean, with the Flashpoint stuff happening, a lot of the stuff that they did, especially with the Suicide Squad and Amanda Waller being dead in that, I mean, that stuff can probably be.
They could redo that. Yeah.
Because I think that at this point, people like seeing characters in different mediums.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be necessarily the same actor because we've kind of established there's the TV universe, the movie universe.
We don't care. So I am very, very excited to see what they're going to do. We shall see. All right, I think that's it. That's all the great questions. This is the last week of Patreon for August, so if you want to get on this awesome Patreon list, you best get over to patreon.com/comicconspiracy, and we'll pimp your stuff, read your name on the podcast next week. It's got a few days, so go do that. I want to thank all our top-tier backers. We got to thank our good friend Albert Soy. He's got an app, Plant Everywhere on iTunes. Julian Titus has the Nerds Without Pants podcast at pixelbit.com.
No pants.
We had a very big scare of last week's episode where we thought we actually lost Julian's audio.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
I'd actually started to edit the podcast to remove him from the podcast entirely, which is
How would you do that?
very hard. It was much harder to do than I thought. Because I was like, I just cut out like a third of the podcast, I guess. But we were able to recover it and we got it up, so hopefully it sounds good. That was scary though.
Holy shit.
When did you realize that at home?
Yeah, the audio footage, like it was blank audio. He had to go back in and like do some recovery thing, but we were able to get
Oh,
it.
wow.
So yeah, he
Wow.
actually thought he completely lost it.
Wow.
Yeah, something bad happened. But we got it. We're good. Ryan Hess, he has the Preach podcast at soundcloud.com/Preach podcast. Jody Lawson has has Canon, the Triad Comics anthology at triadcomicsstudios.com. Go pick up some comics from them. Joshua Bredding has a podcast called Tangent Break. Make sure you check that out. It's everywhere you get your podcasts, you can get that, as well as Twilight of Ages and Dawn of Darkness. Those are a couple of novels he has on Amazon. Make sure you buy those, give him some good reviews, as always. John Nesmith has a Drinking with Batman podcast at drinkingwithbatman.libsyn.com. We have a few other backers: Manoa Place, Sam Che, Talon Bray, and Peter Parker. And thank you guys very, very much for your
Thank you.
donations to us every month. We appreciate it very much. Comic Conspiracy Podcast, geekbox.net, and on iTunes. That's where you can find this podcast and all our previous episodes. Please rate and review us on iTunes. It helps a lot. The Comic Conspiracy at geekbox.net. The contact form on geekbox.net. Send us some long form emails on there if you don't like that. Twitter.
Or send a raven.
Send the Raven.
Send a raven.
Have you not seen this yet?
What is this?
No, I showed it to him yesterday.
Oh, the Thor.
Where's- yeah.
Where's Thor and Hulk
Captain
been?
America and Iron Man have a problem. Did you email them? You should send a
Send
raven.
the Raven. That's pretty funny. Have you seen this, Bryce?
No, it
sure.
sounds like a
it's so good.
trailer that
Hilarious.
spoils a joke that I would otherwise love in the theater.
I'm
We'll show
sorry.
you after.
It's you have to see it.
Patreon.com/Comic Conspiracy. Go donate some money there. Digital.comicsconspiracy.biz. That's where we have our digital website through Comixology. You can pick up some stuff on there. Subscribe. We get a little cut every time you buy on there.
While we're on that, though, it's really funny. There's a bit on wherever he posted it. Hemsworth posted a stunt where the stunt guy would do the trick in front of him. Like, and he jumped up on the trampoline and split and all kinds of crazy shit and landed. I'm like, now your turn. You got to do this for the movie. And Hemsworth would go, okay. He
fall
runs,
on his ass.
And he goes, bang, and he just jump up and lands, and he does a little twist once he lands, and then he goes, that's what you wanted, right? And the other guy goes, well, the spin in the air. Oh, in the air, that's what you meant. And then Tom Holland would do a play on it, like where him and his stunt guy would do the same thing, and Tom Holland did that. He actually did the twirly thing in the air. He landed. Then he did the little spin on the map, and he goes, "Take that, Hemsworth." So it was actually kind of funny.
That's funny.
Cool. Yeah.
Because DVD for Civil War comes up pretty soon.
September 13th.
Yeah.
I hope that Thor thing is on that DVD.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Mail order. You can get your comics through us.
Yeah, we've actually had a few new mail order people, so
The shipping
contact
manager,
the store.
Brock, will pack it.
Yeah, contact the store. Conspiratobrock.com. That's Brock's video pull list and blog. That's where you can go see all his stuff. Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension. That is Charlie's Doctor Who podcast. Etsy.com/shop/Leanne Hill Art. If you like some of her art at Heroes and Villains, you can pick up more of it there.
Is she ever going to do one of us?
No, that'd be awful. On Twitter,
I think she'd throw up before she'd do that.
On Twitter, I'm Ryan Higgins. Ryan. Brock is Brock Sager. Bryce is Larsen Bryce. Toby is Toby XI. Charlie's Insanity and Chaos. The store is
Rocky, if you want it, you can
Comics
commission
Store.
her to do it. She'll
Yeah,
do
I
it.
could.
Sure
I
you
could.
can, yeah. Geekbox, Comedy Button, Good Job Brain, All Talk Podcast, Monka Nations. Those are podcasts on our little network. Make sure you check all those guys out. And, nice long episode here. It's Bryce, so extended by half an hour as always. We're going to wrap up. Thank you guys. We'll catch you next week.